everything that we've covered. Factoring by grouping, factoring using the sums and differences of cubes, some transformation stuff. I know we didn't have an assignment over transformations. I think we've done them enough to just know kind of sort of what they look like. And then we have one question that is rational root topic. Okay, the test has 12 or 13 questions. I think it was 13. Okay, our test has 13 questions. I think you guys will do just fine. Okay, I was looking at it again this morning because somebody in the morning had questions, but I think we'll do fine. So in our little boxes here, we have a cubed plus b cubed. Remember, you can use the whole review on the text. So what are we going to put in the boxes? We're going to put the little equation that we use for the sums and the differences. Okay, that way you guys can have it at the top, or if you're at home, you can write it down, or if you're going to type into the box, whatever you want to do, guys. So for the sums, okay, for the sums of my cubes, I'm going to write in all capital letters because that's just how I like to write. So I have a plus b, and then I have a squared minus ab, whoops, just kidding, plus b squared. I always told you you don't have to memorize it. I will give it to you every single time. Okay. Very similar to the differences of cubes. Okay. A cubed minus b cubed. We have a minus b. That's b. It's not 13.
Plus AP.
Say it again.
A plus AB.
Plus ab
Plus B squared.
plus b squared. Awesome. Natalie remembers. She memorized it. Okay. So for factoring, using the sums and differences, we wrote it down. You guys write it down, type it out, highlight it. You can pull it up, whatever you want to do, guys. So we use them for the ones that look like 1 through 4. Okay, kind of, sort of. Okay, let's look at number 3. Much like number 1. So number 3 is not cubed. Okay, it's not cubed. So if it's not cubed, what are we going to do? Are we going to use the differences of cubes, or are we going to do something else if it's not cubed?
What's the root, right?
Huh?
X root.
We could. Can also do something else. We can just factor out something that they have in common.
2.
4. Okay. If I factor out a 4, what am I left with?
9.
Minus 4. Okay. So I factored out a 4. I have left what's in my parentheses. Okay. Now, if you look at it, I have 9 and I have 4. Okay. I can take the square root of both. Okay. Can I take the square root of x to the 4th power?
No. Wait, yes.
What is it?
2. I mean, x cubed.
It's x to the 2nd power, right? X cubed. Squared. Sorry. It's been a long day, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and break it up. I'm going to take the square root of 9, 3, and I'm going to take the square root of x squared. Of x cubed. Oh my god. The square root of x to the 4th power gives me x squared, and the square root of 4 gives me 2. That's a 2. Okay. We'll pretend like it looks like a 2. So we can write it like that. It means the same thing, okay? I know it looks like the differences of cubes, but it's not, okay? Let's not get confused. But one that is the differences of cubes, we have number 4, and we're going to use it. Okay, so going to move number 4. We have 8y cubed minus 125. So I have a cubed minus b cubed. How do I get it to be just a? This, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I need it to be just a. Okay? Just a and just b. Right now I have a cubed and b cubed. Okay, how do I get it to be just a? Huh? Square root my 3. I can cube root my 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what's the cube root of 8?
We're gonna be 4. What is that?
No, it's a what? Right?
The cube root of 8?
Oh, cool.
2. The cube root of y cubed is what? What's the cube root of 125?
5.
5, right?
I remember the 3 should be.
Good. We're using the same numbers over and over again, guys. So now I have A, now I have B. I'm going to plug it in to the sum or the differences. The top or the bottom? The bottom one, right? So I have 2y minus 5. Okay. And then I'm going to have a squared, which is 2y squared. Here, I'll put a bracket, make it look pretty. Minus 5 times 2y. Oops. Plus 5 squared. Okay. So I substituted a and b. What's my last step?
Wait, no. Exactly.
Simplify, right? So I can simplify all of these. I'm going to rewrite the first one. What's 2 squared, Natalie?
It's like,
Huh?
It's like 4y.
4y squared, right? 5 times 2 gives me 10. What's 5 squared?
Oh my god, I put mine back.
25. Awesome. So that's it. That's my answer. I finished. Look at me. Remember, guys, whenever we take the test, you're going to have multiple choice answers.
Still
Okay? The whole test is multiple choice. I double checked this morning because I
How
wasn't
much
sure.
is each question worth?
Huh?
How much is each question worth?
Well, if we have 13 questions and it's out of 100, you can divide 100 by, and it'll give you how many points. Okay? So we did factoring the differences of cubes. Let's go ahead and do number 5. We're going to do factoring by grouping. And they're going to look kind of like this. Okay? They're going to look like this. We have multiple choice. So 9x cubed plus 27x squared plus 4x plus 12. Okay? Do I have a greatest common factor?
Yes. No.
No. So what do I do?
Cut in half.
Cut it in half, put it into 2 groups, right? So in my first group, I have 9x cubed plus 27x squared. What's my greatest common factor?
3.
What is it?
3.
Nope. No.
No?
Okay. X squared. Okay. X squared. Yes. Okay. Wrong number. What is it? Huh? We're overthinking it, guys. 9.
Oh, because then you go.
Oh my God. Can we divide 27 by 9?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put my next square
I can't.
and then put whatever's left. 9 divided by 9 is 1, right? 1 what? 1x. What's 27 divided by 9?
3.
3. Look at us. Now in my second group, I have 4x plus 12. What's the greatest common factor?
4. 12. Yeah.
What is it?
4.
4. You're just guessing.
No, you missed something.
Yes, I saw your face.
No, because I thought it was 3, but then I realized.
So we have 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1x. 12 divided by 4?
3.
Wait, what?
3.
Um,
So the greatest common factor between the groups is x plus 3. I know it's not the same problem, but I don't have a lot of space. And then we write whatever's left.
It's B.
Okay? So don't forget, okay? Don't forget, whenever we have exponents here, okay? Whenever we have exponents here, try to see if you can solve them. Okay, remember when we had factor form and then I told you you can still factor it more?
Mm-hmm.
So something like this, please double check. Okay, please double check. For now, we'll go ahead and say that's fine and we'll continue on. Any questions so far?
English, please, again.
Okay, we did 3, 4, 5. Let's talk about transformations to make sure we have enough time. Everybody go to number 14. It's the last page.
Ew.
No.
It has words.
Yeah.
Yeah, math is words with numbers. Remember letters with numbers? Okay. So number 14 gives us the parent function. It says f of x is equal to x cubed. And it tells you it was transformed into h of x on the right. Describe the transformation. Okay, so either you'll have multiple choice or it'll be like 13 and 15. Okay. So I have h of x equals -2 times x minus 5 cubed plus 7. Tell me real quick, how many transformations am I supposed to have?
Wait.
Close. What's okay? Name the transformations. What are the things that look different?
Up,
Two.
down.
The 2. What else? The -5.
Okay, plus and minus.
The 7.
Where did I get this?
My negative. Okay, my negative. The cube is supposed to be like that. We have x cubed. Okay, so I have 4 transformations. What happened to my graph? If we don't remember, what can we always do with my graphs? Graph it. You can put it into decimals. Put both of them. Look at the difference. But we should know it, right? So what happened to it? It went down? Nope. It flipped. Which way? Okay. Remember our terms. Reflected which way?
I just went back to the order.
Look at Olivia's hand. Which way is it going?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's bad.
Over the x-axis. Okay. So it reflected over the x-axis. Awesome. Great. What else happened?
I'm good at English. I'm not good at math.
It needs to be green and red.
It went to the right. How do you know it went to the right? Because it's subtraction. So Olivia said it went to the right 5 units. Remember, everything inside the parentheses will be the opposite.
I'm missing you our notes tomorrow.
Yes, you can use whatever you need on the test. You can use whatever you need on the test. All right, so we have 2 transformations. What else happened? Kenneth, what else happened? It went up 7 units, right? Okay, And what's the last one that we don't like to say because for some reason we don't like to? Okay, we got the 5, we got the 7, we got our negative. What's my 2? Yeah, so we got skinnier. What is that called?
Negative, positive.
What kind of stretch? Big got skinnier. Big got skinnier. Which way did it go? Vertical stretch. Yeah.
It's making me think of art and elementary.
Okay, vertical stretch by 2. So those are all our transformations. I know we didn't go over it, but I think we've gone over transformations enough to know what they are. So for the most part, we'll answer like that. If you look at number 13 and 15, the questions look like 13 and 15. Okay?
Oh, man.
Just letting you know. So we have our graph and we have our answer choices. Okay? Which one of these belongs to the graph? You can look at it to see what happened. Say, well, I have a negative here, I don't have a negative here, I have a negative here, I don't have one here. Okay? I have +5, -5. And they're all -3, meaning they all went 3 down. So I don't have to worry about it. I just have to worry about the other 2. If you want, you can graph all of them, see which one looks like my friend over here on the side, and pick your answer. Okay. Okay. So lastly, we have 16 and 17. We have 2 on the review, but we only have, I believe it's just 1 on the test. It's the last one. Well, it's actually, it mixes them up for you, so it might not be the last one. Okay, so number 16 and 17, they talk about our rational roots that we saw yesterday. 16 asks just for a list of the possible roots. 17 asks for you to go ahead and solve it. So let's do 16 and then we'll talk about 17. Okay. So for 16, we have f of x equals 5x to the 5th power plus 3x to the 4th power minus 7x cubed plus 2x minus x plus 20. Okay, I think that's supposed to be 2x squared now that I look at it. It's okay. So what do I need for this?
Common factor, put it in.
It's what we did yesterday. What are the terms that we used? We used the constant. We did. What else did we use? Our LC, our leading coefficient, the 5. So we put the constant over the leading coefficient whenever we're finding our possible roots. But what do I need from both? I need to know what are my multiples, right? What numbers multiply to give me 20?
1, 2,
5, 4,
no, oh yeah,
10,
20.
20. And what are my multiples of 5?
1 and 5.
1 and 5. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and use it and put them in pairs. Remember, the constant goes on top and the leading coefficient goes on the bottom. So we're going to have plus or minus 1. Everything that's over 1, I'm just going to leave it as a whole number. Okay, plus or minus 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Okay, so that's all of the constant multiples over 1. And because we have 1 and 5 for the leading coefficient, we're gonna do the same thing over 5. Okay, so I'm gonna do plus or minus 1 over 5, plus or minus 2 over 5, plus or minus 4 over 5. Okay, what's 5 over 5? 1, so I'm not gonna write it. I don't need to, I already have 1 over here. What about 10 over 5? 2. I already have 2. I'm not going to write it again. And then what about 20 over 5? It's 4, and I have it, so I'm not going to write it again. Remember, we only need to write 1 time. So it asks for the list. I have my list. That's it. Okay. Now, number 17. Okay, you would have to make your list and then put these terms and plug them in for x to see which ones equal 0. Here's the thing. We have a lot of terms. It's your test. We have a lot of terms. If you look at 17, we have 30. So the bigger the number, the more multiples, the more the list gets bigger, the more terms we have, right? Tomorrow or whenever you take your test, you have answer choices. So instead of making a list and plugging in, 30 terms to find out which ones are true and which ones not, just use what they give you for the multiple choice answers. Let's say each question we have, okay, in the question we have A, B, C, D. Let's say 3 of them have 5. Go ahead and plug in for 5. If it's not 5 that is equal to 0, then guess what? That's not your answer. Okay, for the question like this, that's how I want you to solve it. Unless you want to just put it into decimals, that's fine too. But that's what I would suggest. Okay, and even though there's division and multiplication and addition of polynomials, it's not on the test. It's just on the review. So, how do we feel about taking our test tomorrow or the next day or the next week, whatever we're doing?
Actually, okay, just the graph.
Just the graphing, a little bit better.